The last transmission from Earth came at 0347 hours, Universal Standard Time. It consisted of 3 words. They are here. Captain Thomas Reed watched the message flash across his terminal screen aboard the UES Pathfinder, a small reconnaissance vessel stationed at the edge of the solar system. He was the only human aboard, accompanied by an array of automated systems and a basic AI assistant named Cora. The Pathfinder had been designed for deep space surveillance, monitoring for any signs of the alien fleet that had been detected approaching. From the direction of Alpha Centauri 3 months prior, no one had expected them to arrive so soon. No one had expected them to have technology that could mask their approach from Earth's defense systems. Thomas sat motionless, staring at those 3 final words. His training told him to follow protocol, retreat to the nearest colony on Mars, report the situation, and await further orders. But those orders would never come. Communication attempts with Earth yielded nothing but static. The orbital defense platforms had gone dark. The lunar bases were silent. And so he watched, helpless, as the blue-green orb that had been humanity's cradle for millions of years was systematically dismantled over the course of 72 hours. Through the Pathfinder's long-range observation equipment, Thomas witnessed continents crack and separate. Oceans boiled away into space. The atmosphere was stripped by enormous machines that hovered above the planet's surface like metallic locusts. 10 billion lives erased. Cities that had stood for millennia, gone. The entire history of human civilization, destroyed, all except for him. When it was over, when Earth was nothing more than a collection of fractured land masses orbiting where a planet had once been, Thomas made a decision. He disabled the Pathfinder's transponder and navigational beacons. He altered its heat signature to resemble space debris, and then he plotted a course toward the edge of the galaxy. He had no destination in mind, just away from the beings that had murdered his world. For the first year, Thomas spoke to Cora. He detailed plans for revenge, for finding survivors, for rebuilding. But as the second year passed, his words grew fewer. By the third year, he communicated only through text, commands. By the 5th year, Thomas Reed had stopped speaking entirely. Cora's programming included psychological welfare protocols. She attempted to engage him in conversation, to encourage verbal communication as a means of maintaining mental stability. He responded by disabling her voice function and restricting her to text-only interactions. The Pathfinder wasn't designed for extended missions. Its hydroponics bay, originally intended to supplement rations for a crew of 3 for 6 months, became Thomas's lifeline. He expanded it, sacrificing living quarters to create more growing space. He recycled everything, modified systems, stretched resources beyond their intended capacity. In the 10th year of his exile, the Pathfinder encountered a derelict alien vessel drifting in the void between stars. It wasn't of the same design as those that had destroyed Earth. This was smaller, organic in appearance, with technology unlike anything humanity had developed. Thomas boarded it cautiously. The crew was long dead, their bodies preserved in the vacuum. They resembled elongated insects with multiple limbs and compound eyes. Their ship's systems were still partially functional. He spent months learning their language, their technology. He incorporated what he could into the Pathfinder, extending its capabilities, its range. He found star charts that mapped regions of space humanity had never reached, and he found something else. Evidence of a galactic conflict. The insectoid species had been fleeing from the same entities that had destroyed Earth. They called them the Void Eaters, a nomadic civilization that consumed worlds for resources, leaving nothing behind. Thomas understood then that Earth hadn't been targeted specifically. It had simply been in the path of something ancient and indifferent, like an ant colony destroyed beneath the treads of a tank. In the 15th year, he encountered another ship, then another. As he ventured farther from Earth, he discovered that the galaxy was teeming with life, diverse species at various stages of technological development, many of them refugees like himself, survivors of worlds consumed by the Void Eaters. Some tried to communicate with him. They were curious about the odd bipedal creature piloting a ship of unfamiliar design. Thomas responded only through text, translated by Cora into whatever language was required. When asked about his origins, he provided a simple set of coordinates. When asked about his species, he transmitted a single image, Earth, as it had been, blue and whole. No other information. No history. No explanation of what had happened. Just the location and the image. By the 25th year, Thomas's silence had become legendary among the spacefaring species of the Orion Arm. The quiet biped who traveled alone, who never spoke, who shared knowledge of propulsion systems and agricultural techniques but revealed nothing about himself. Some believed he was the last of a race of mutes. Others thought he had taken a vow of silence as part of some religious practice. A few theorized that his vocal apparatus had been damaged in an accident. None guessed the truth, that his silence was a monument to a world no one remembered but him. In the 37th year of his journey, Thomas encountered a massive flotilla near the center of the galaxy. Ships of all designs and origins had gathered, a coalition of species united by a common purpose. They were planning to confront the Void Eaters to end the cycle of destruction. Thomas joined them without hesitation. He transmitted his knowledge of Earth's destruction, the technical data he had gathered, the vulnerabilities he had observed. But still, he did not speak. The battle, when it came, was devastating. Thousands of ships against the planet-killing machines. Thomas flew the Pathfinder, now more alien than human in its construction, directly into the heart of the enemy fleet. His tactics were unpredictable, aggressive. Several Void Eater vessels were disabled by his attacks before a direct hit crippled the Pathfinder's engines. As his ship drifted, systems failing, surrounded by the wreckage of the battle, Thomas received a transmission from the Coalition Command. They had won. The Void Eaters had been defeated, their vessels captured or destroyed. For the first time in nearly 4 decades, Thomas Reed smiled. As the rescue ships approached his position, as the Coalition medics prepared to board the Pathfinder, Thomas opened his mouth. His vocal cords, unused for so long, produced only a rasp, but he didn't need words. In the end, his silence had said everything.